Hey everyone, Jengra here. Welcome back to my Craftoria world, where we continue our base expansion underground. We've previously done some groundwork on Theurgy, and finally we're going in deep by walking through the entire process of transforming Amethyst into Diamond. This will give you a great look at how the Theurgy mod works from start to finish. Amethyst is a core ingredient in Theurgy, so you'll definitely want to automate that. Last time we used AE2 to do that, but you can use other methods as well. Ars Nouveau is a great one. So stick around and let's break down the entire process step by step. Before we get into the Theurgy Reformation process, please give me a few seconds to thank our sponsor, Apex Hosting. Whether you're running Craftoria or any other modded Minecraft pack, Apex has your back with easy one-click mod pack installations and reliable 24/7 support. They make it super easy to get your server up and running without the headaches of port forwarding, performance, and upgrades. They'll even do the upgrades for you. If you check them out, please use my link, jangro.com/apex. That supports the channel, and you can get started in under 5 minutes. Thanks for your support. Now let's dive into Theurgy. And here is our entire Theurgy setup so far. Things we've done in the previous few episodes. I'll recap that in a second. In this video, we're going to go through this entire process and create diamond from amethyst. We have essentially unlimited amethyst. As in the last video, we set up amethyst automation using Applied Energistics 2. The things that we'll be using in this process that we're working on today is this sal ammoniac fluid tank. This group of machines we talked about in the first video. Then we moved on to doing this whole ore processing setup, which sets us up with the salts that we need. We have mineral salts from, again, all this amethyst that we're generating. We have strata salts coming from the cobblestone that we've automated, plant salts coming from the sugar cane we automated, and creature salt comes from 2 plant salts. I think that's the only way you can make creature salt is by putting 2 plant salts into the calcination oven. So these are the 4 different types of salts that you need in Theurgy. Salts go into the incubator, into the salt vessel for us to do the final stage of resource generation. Something that we haven't discussed yet are the digestion vats and the fermentation vats. Let's introduce ourselves to those by quickly creating these 2 intermediary resources that we're going to need. This purified gold to do digestion and upgrade our niters. And we're going to use this fermentation starter here in the fermentation process. We can use any organic material just about to ferment, but this is much cheaper. The starter we create in a fermentation vat with a plant and sugar and sal ammoniac. I've got the sal ammoniac piped through here, and it's going into this fermentation vat that we put down right here. Let's look at how the fermentation vat works by creating some starter. So if we take one piece of sugar and 1 piece of sugar cane and put them in the fermentation vat by just right-clicking. Recall, we interact with Theurgy machines by right-clicking on them to put things in and out manually. So we put sugar cane in there and a sugar. And now for the fermentation vat and the digestion vat to work, we need to shift right-click on it to close it. It'll take just a few seconds to create output, which in this case is some starter. When it's finished, it opens up, and you can see here it's got this redstone signal lit up. That'll be important later. We're going to talk about how to automate these things. So now we just right click on it, and now we have 20 starter. Put that in there for now. We don't need to use starter. We can just use any, like we could use sugarcane, but 1 sugarcane works the same as 1 starter. And as you saw, from sugar and sugarcane, we can get 20. The other thing we want to make is purified gold. Now we just need some salt, any salt, and gold, and water. And this, we have water going into this digestion vat. So we take 1 gold, and we'll come over here and grab a salt. We use strata salt. That's the cheapest. And just in the same way, we right-click with the salt, and then we right-click with the gold, and shift right-click to close it. You can see the top closes. And in the same way, when it's finished, it will open it up automatically. We'll see this red light up. And there we go. We have 20 purified gold from that. Now there's one other set of machines, these Reformation pedestals. We'll see how those work when we walk through the transformation of amethyst into diamonds. They're pretty cheap. You just put them down here. You might need more than 1 Reformation source pedestal depending on the recipe you're working on, but this is the most basic setup. Just one thing to note about this is it needs power, just like all the other machines, and this is a different emitter. It requires a sulfuric flux emitter. Let's just grab that and show how this works. Just like the caloric flux emitter, we right-click with the sulfuric flux emitter on these 3 pedestals. Like this, 3 right-clicks, And then we put it on a mercury catalyst just like that. It says that it's linked. It needs line of sight, by the way. So if there was a wall right here, it would not be able to work through it. But we'll see how these work in a few minutes. So let's go through the whole process of turning an amethyst into a diamond. And this process will work with any of these several different types of sulfur that are supported by Theurgy. I think there's 222 of them. So the first step is to take an amethyst and put it through the liquefaction cauldron to turn it into its sulfur. Now this sulfur, just like when we process the ores, we can turn a sulfur back into its normal item with mercury and a salt. We're not going to do that here. We're going to take this sulfur and turn it into a niter of the same type. Now, while there are 222 different sulfurs, there are, I think, 23 different niters. And a niter is kind of a representation of the type and rarity or tier of the items that it represents. So the niter is kind of a base, and we can take niter and it's the niter that we're transforming and transmuting into other tiers or rarity and other categories. Now, the categories of niters are logs and crops, which are only abundant rarity. There's earthen matters, which are abundant and common. There's animal parts, which are abundant, common, and rare. Other minerals, which are abundant, common, rare, and precious. Metals, gems, and mod drops, also which all come in 4 tiers: abundant, common, rare, and precious. This chart I put together here helps me keep it all straight. I'll put a link to this spreadsheet in the description. The first thing we need is a niter from this amethyst, which is just kind of turning it into a general niter, which is just rare gems. So it's no longer an amethyst. It's just a rare gem. Now with niters, you can either transform them into, or reform them, I should say, into other types. So we could turn this gem niter into a metal niter, or we could turn this gem niter into a animal parts niter or a mob drops niter. And that's how we can create pretty much any type. In this case, we're going for gem at the end. Diamonds are also gems, so we don't need to change its category. We just need to change its rarity. So this is a rare gem. A diamond is a precious gem. So through the digestion process, we can upgrade 4 rare gems into 1 precious gem. And when we upgrade, we need to use purified gold. We can also downgrade. Say we have a precious gem and we want to downgrade it to a common gem because we want to make a common metal out of it, which is iron, for example. We could digest it without the purified gold and we would get 4 common gems. There's a translation cost between upgrading and downgrading. Usually it's 4-to-1, but with mob drops, it's actually a lot more expensive. Okay, so now we have a precious gem niter, which is the target that we want. Our diamond is a precious gem. Now we can take a niter and through the reformation process, as long as we already have the sulfur of the target that we want, we put that into our target pedestal. That does not get consumed. So that's why it's good to keep 1 copy of every sulfur around, especially if they're hard to get, like a nether star. If you get a nether star, make a sulfur out of it and don't use it up. And you'll be able to make infinite more nether stars out of that. So we put the target diamond sulfur in here. This is what we're going to get out of it. And we put this precious gem niter into the source pedestal. This is what's going to get consumed, and it's going to turn into a copy of what's in the target pedestal, from which we're going to get diamond alchemical sulfur. And then we're going to take that diamond alchemical sulfur and put it in the incubator with some mercury and some mineral salt, and we're going to get a diamond. Let's take a look at the whole process from start to finish, turning amethyst into a diamond. First, we're going to need 4 amethyst. That's because partway through the process, we need 4 rare gems to make 1 precious gem. So we need 4 at least. We could do this with a whole stack if we wanted to. So we put them in the liquefaction cauldron. You can see the mercurial flux is coming over here, powering it. And there, we've got 4 alchemical sulfur for amethyst. Right click on that to grab that out. Now we need to use a fermentation vat with some starter to turn these 4 amethyst gems into rare gem niters. So we just need 4 starters. We'll put them in the fermentation vat with water, as well as these 4 alchemical sulfurs. Shift right click to close it. Now it's going to turn those 4 sulfurs into niters. Now again, alchemical niters are kind of generic versions of these rare gems. So it's no longer an amethyst. It's just a rare gem niter, and we can turn this niter into other types of niters. All All right, it's finished. It opens up automatically. We right click and now we have our rare gem niters, which we now need to digest into precious gem niters. Now we need 4 of these purified gold. And this needs to go into a digestion vat with sal ammoniac. We need to put the purified gold in first, I think. I think that's just kind of a mechanic. The niter in, shift right click to close it. Now it's going to turn these 4 rare gem niters into a single precious gem niter. And there it is. Right click, and now we have the precious gem. So now this precious gem niter we can turn back into any other precious gem in this reformation process. Now we need a diamond sulfur as the target. Let's just grab this one because I think that's the only one I have. We put that on the target pedestal. That is not going to get consumed. We put the precious gem niter into the source pedestal. That will get consumed. And those things are going to process and turn into a copy of the diamond alchemical sulfur. And there it is in here. Note again, the target didn't get consumed. So we can just keep one target of every type of sulfur around, and we can make any kind of item. Trick is you have to have found at least one of the things first, so it's not that cheaty. All right, now we go over here into our incubator. It has mineral salt in it already. We got 64 in there. It's also got mercury shards in it already in the mercury vessel, and we just need to put it into the sulfur vessel. Drop that in there. We'll see some smoke come out. And I already had 2 diamonds in this chest. Now you can see there's 3. Those 4 amethyst are now turned into a single diamond. Pretty cool, huh? Now imagine if we could automate this whole process, we could very easily get 16 diamonds out of a stack of amethyst. Because we've got amethyst growing like crazy up there, we've got all the resources that we want. So if you're thinking to yourself, okay, that's great, but how do you know how to do all these different steps? Just take a look in EMI. And let's say we want to turn cobblestone into diamonds. Let's start with cobblestone. Just right click on it. We can see we can turn that into alchemical sulfur for cobblestone. Right click on that. We can then ferment that into an abundant earthen matter. And then right click on that. We can upgrade it, 4 of them. So 4 so far with purified gold into common earthen matter. Right click on the common earthen matter. We can reform the common earthen matter, niter, into other types of matter. So let's go to gems. We had 16 common earthen matters. See here it says 16 times for the source pedestal. With a common gem alchemical niter as the target, we can copy this again with 16 of these into a single common gem alchemical niter. Right click on that. We can upgrade that through the digestion process with purified gold. 4 alchemical niter gives us 1 rare gem. We've already been here before with the amethyst, which is a rare gem. Right click on that. We can upgrade 4 of those into 1 precious gem, which we can then, through reformation, make a diamond. Now, if we had 64 of those precious gem alchemical niter and a precious mob drop alchemical niter, like a nether star, we could make another one. This is how we can get to nether stars even. There's 4 abundant earthen matters to make a common earthen matter, and 16 of those to make a common gem, 4 of those to make a rare gem, and 4 of those to make a precious gem. If my math is correct, 4 times 16 times 4 times 4 is 1024. So we can make a single diamond out of 1024 cobblestone, or 16 stacks of cobblestone to make 1 diamond. So this isn't that OP. You have to generate a lot of resources and you have to do a lot of work shuffling things around. Or we can automate the whole thing, and we will surely do that in a future video. Well, I hope I made this Theurgy process clear. I've watched other videos where they tried to do too much in a single video, and it was just way too confusing. I'm trying to break it down into more bite-sized pieces, and I hope I accomplished that. Let me know in the comments if I did. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. I appreciate you.